Hey, this is Jimmy. I just wanted to toss this out there because it's something that's been eating at me for a couple weeks now. I often hear people go to church and they talk about how their life was transformed and how their life is different. And they'll testify that ever since they started going to such and such church, that God transformed their life, that their marriage is better, that they have a better job, that they have a better career, that they're more likable now, that they have more money in the bank, and that they're off drugs and all those sort of things. And that's all fine and good. However, I think that we so often forget that as great as those things are, that's not what the gospel is ultimately about. The gospel is not about life transformation and changing your life and making your life better and prettier and shinier and spiffier and more enjoyable to you, although the gospel may sometimes do those things, but that's not the purpose of the gospel. Jesus didn't come so you could have a transformed life. Jesus didn't come so you could experience change. Rather, Jesus came to proclaim what God was doing in the world and what God was doing in the world through him, and how he was ultimately calling on us to discover how we can participate in that which is God is doing, and that the lives we live are ultimately supposed to be lives that are reflections of participating in the plan and designs of God and what Christ is ultimately doing through his death and resurrection and his present ministry, and we're called to participate in that. And as a result, we're called to live a certain way, and as a result of living a certain way, we experience transformation. I just want to say, you can experience transformation without Jesus. There are people who convert to Islam every single day in this world, and they experience transformation. There are people who go to Tony Robbins seminars and experience transformation. There are people who decide to enroll in community college that experience transformation. There are people who start diet programs and go to the gym and start New Year's resolutions that experience transformation. And as great as those things can sometimes be, minus the converting to Islam thing, but you can experience change and transformation without Jesus. So if you're looking to Jesus just to transform and change your life, you've missed the entire purpose for which Christ came. Christ came so that you can ultimately participate in what he is doing in this world, and to live your life as a reflection of that, and being able to participate in that. And as a result of daily attempting to align your life step by step every single day for the rest of your life, in a way that's living as a reflection of that plan, you experience transformation. But transformation in itself is not the goal. The goal is instead to become more and more like Christ, and to participate ultimately in what God is doing. As a result, you do experience transformation. But transformation itself is not what the gospel is about. So, I hope you get a better marriage. I hope you get a better job. I hope you lose a few pounds. God knows I'm trying. But those things in itself are not what Christ is ultimately about. Christ is ultimately calling us to participate in his life, death, and resurrection in this world, and to share the gospel, to be agents of reconciliation, helping bring people closer to God, to pursue justice and mercy in this world, and to prepare people for his eventual coming back again. And that's what he's called us to do, and he's called us to live lives that reflect those values and reflect the type of people that he wants us to be as participants in a kingdom that he established through his coming. And as a result, we live differently as Christians than other people. Sometimes maybe our lives aren't that much radically different than the culture around us, because of the context in which we are born and live our lives out. But that's okay, because it's not about being radically different. It's not about being radically transformed. It's rather simply a matter of being like Jesus in our day-to-day lives. And that's what the gospel is ultimately about. So let's stop promising people pie-in-the-sky dreams about transformation and freedom and those things. And those are fine and good, and the Holy Spirit and the gospel offers those things. But instead, let us just simply focus on helping people become more like Christ. Help them to discover what God is doing in this world and what role they play in that. This is Jimmy. I just thought I'd toss this out there. Hope this is some truth that you can put into practice and ponder until my next video. So you all take care.